This is the fifth study session for NSC 303. The topic of this study session is community health problem. The health services provided for Nigeria from childhood to adulthood is far from being adequate. Nigeria, like many other developing countries, particularly in Africa, is still far from reducing mortality ratio in various diseases. This may be due to the health system and health status of Nigerians, which are in deplorable states. Nigeria's overall health system performance was ranked 187th among 191 member states of World Health Organization in year 2000. The prevalence rates of most diseases are high, thus increasing morbidity and mortality rates. This unit will look at some of these health problems and factors responsible, and look at the impact of this health problem on general health of Nigerian populace. On completion of this study session, you should be able to identify major health problems among Nigerian populace. You should be able to enumerate the leading causes of death and morbidity. You should be able to identify factors responsible for the health problem of the community, and you should be able to describe the impact or significance of this health problem to the health of the Nigerian population. Major community health problems. Diseases or ill health is caused due to diseases causing organisms. An individual is considered to be healthy only if he is free from diseases. The human body was viewed as a machine, and diseases was considered a consequence of breakdown of the machine. The major health problem common to communities and Nigeria as a whole are infections and parasitic diseases. Examples of these infections and diseases include malaria, measles, cough, tuberculosis, malnutrition, yellow fever, neonatal tetanus, HIV/AIDS. Some of these diseases, particularly malaria and HIV/AIDS, constitute the most important public health problem in Nigeria. Malaria has become the most important disease, affecting about 100 million people each year. Likewise, HIV/AIDS has become a global pandemic, with its greatest burden in sub-Saharan Africa, Nigeria inclusive. In Nigeria, HIV/AIDS epidemic has long expanded beyond the community classified high-risk group, that is the sex worker, the long-distance truck traveler, and the migrant workers, and now commonplace in the Nigerian population, with risk population cutting across both elite and non-literate population. Most of these contribute to high morbidity and mortality rates in Nigeria. Some of the problems that can give rise to high incidence of diseases in Nigeria include kind of health activity of the community, ignorance of the correct health practices, cultures, taboos, and food preferences, poverty associated with poor nutrition and poor housing, poor personal hygiene and environmental sanitation, lack of good quality of water, too many children being born, lack of facilities for treatment of diseases and preventing diseases, for example, immunization. Out of every 10 deaths worldwide, 6 are due to non-communicable condition, 3 to communicable and reproduction or nutritional condition, and 1 to injuries. The leading cause of death are as a result of injuries and infectious diseases such as pneumonia and influenza. In Nigeria, most common causes are infective and parasitic diseases, diseases of respiratory system, accidents, poisons and violence, diseases of circulatory system, and diseases of digestive system. Likewise, common causes of death among children are malaria, diarrheal diseases, acute respiratory infection, vaccine preventive diseases, malnutrition, and HIV/AIDS. Now, factors responsible for the health problem of the community. Now, factors that are responsible for health problem of community can be identified in various facets of the community life. The first factor is nutritional status of the population. Malnutrition is a common phenomenon in the community. Half of the world population is caught in a vicious circle of poverty. So malnutrition has the highest cost, more than 50% of child mortality in Nigeria. Another one is vectors. Vectors are arthropods or similar invertebrates which transmit diseases to man either directly or indirectly, such as mosquito, housefly, tsetse fly, and so on and so forth. Another factor is environmental factor. This includes physical environment, topography, neighborhood, and industrial conditions. They may have direct and indirect effects on community health. Another factor is behavioral factors, factors at home, traditional prejudice, and socio-economic status factor, and political factor. Political factor has a major role in that willingness and unwillingness of people in government to give priority to health matter has significant influence on the health status of the people in a community. And lastly, organization factor. The impact of the problem to the health of the community. This includes high morbidity among children and adults, high mortality, that is infant mortality or childhood mortality or maternal mortality. The third one is dependency ratio is increased. Then we have low productivity leading to retrenchment. We have decreased lifespan. The sixth one is increased rates of handicapping condition and disability. We have drain on family or community resources such as medical care cost, hospital cost, and cost of drugs and appliances. And we have a nutritional impact. Also, we have the social impact, we have environmental impacts, and migration and physical and biological impacts. We have come to the end of this study session. You can read more from your study pack to understand this lecture better. Thank you for listening. See you in the next class.